This is about them, and it's not about you. Your you is secondary in this scenario. Show them how working with you is good for them in terms of shopping different types of loans. That's one of the real strengths of the comparative financing analysis, is that it shows their client that they're really shopping, even though it's all at Wells Fargo, it's showing them all the different ranges of products that they have available to them to finance this piece of product, this piece of property. Emphasize your ability to make things happen. As a decision maker at Wells Fargo with single signature loan authority, you're going to be able to put together deals faster than anyone else, and also be able to be more creative in terms of structure, because there's not going back and forth between a loan center and a loan committee, and they have to understand this. Help them understand how committed you are to the small business community, just as they are. Make them understand that you're a salesperson, that you're out in the market, that you don't sit behind a desk and just push numbers all day. That's important to them, because they don't realize that every bank just doesn't have a loan center. So let's talk about when to do commercial real estate broker presentations. Just like the CFAs, I would say any more than monthly is probably annoying, and with dealing directly with the people, quarterly is probably fine. Just to let them know what's going on, to refresh their memory, because whoever's in front of them on a regular basis providing them real value-added information is the one that's going to get the deals. And more than that, I think one of the real upsides to dealing with commercial real estate brokers, more than doing real estate loans, is that you'll have your finger on the pulse of the business community and all the deals that are going on more than anyone else that you're competing with. Let's talk about the successes. Having worked with commercial real estate brokers and leveraged the CFA to build a network with real estate brokers. Probably the biggest success that I've felt, and that you'll feel, is that when you're using the CFAs and you get that package, and part of that package is the broker information on the property, and you see that on the other side of the property flyer is your information that you provided the broker with. That's one of the best feelings, because you know at that point that they're out in the market basically working for you. They've become your marketing engine. The other thing is that other banks will know you're a force to be reckoned with. When they know that Wells Fargo and whatever your name is, BFO for Wells Fargo, is involved in this deal, and they know that you're crawling all over the market, they're going to know that they have a chance to lose this deal, especially if it's within our target market. You're always going to be at risk on deals that are $1 million+ because lots of people want to make those, but in our target market, you won't get beat very often. The other thing that's probably the best feeling selfishly as a BFO is the fact that not a deal will go down in your marketplace if you have a network of commercial real estate brokers working with you and using your information that you don't know about. And you'll also know about the past deals, which is going to make your life a lot easier when you're doing just straight commercial industrial lending, not worrying about real estate necessarily, but the fact is you'll be tapped in and have your finger on the pulse of a market. So good luck, and I hope you have a good time using the program.
I'm Mark Leitheisel. I'm the area manager for the Denver, Colorado market area. Prior to that, I was a business financing officer in the Sacramento area for the Central Division, working directly for Jim Wallace. I've been in the current BFO position for approximately a year, and prior to that, I was a retail branch manager, and I've been with the bank for about 6 years. I'm here today to speak with you with regard to the CPA calling process and program that Jim Wallace and I have put together for the Central Division, which in essence leverages ourselves to the CPA community to obtain as many referrals as possible for small businesses in the demographic and geographic area of the Sacramento area. Too often BFOs fail to make follow-up contact with borrowers' CPAs to inform them what they're doing, what their current position with the bank is as a decision maker and a loan officer for the business loan division, as well as to reinforce the fact that Wells Fargo Bank is very committed to small business lending in the California market as well as the United States now that we've acquired First Interstate Bank. Jim and I have put together a CPA leave behind that essentially has all the loan documentation that a CPA would need to supply to their clients, as well as financial checklist, as well as all the product information that shows the features and benefits of all the products that Wells Fargo has to offer.
Okay, I'd like to talk to you a little bit today about how to do a CPA call correctly. And let me, first of all, give you some background on where I developed some of my opinions. Approximately 18 months ago, I was asked to call on some CPAs across the country. I started in 6 cities, and not in this order, but Boston and Chicago, Denver, Phoenix, Dallas, and Houston. And then I managed the Central Valley in California, which includes Redding, Chico, Marysville, Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto, Bakersfield, and Fresno, Lodi, Manteca, and a whole bunch of other smaller cities. At last count, I had been in over 200 CPA offices, originally to look at a special project of the company where CPAs might be able to do loans for us, but as well to assist BFOs in learning how to develop business from the CPA channel. So through those some 200 calls, I stumbled onto, more by accident than by design, trial and error perhaps, some of the things that you can do right in a CPA visit and some of the things to avoid. And so today I'd like to talk to you about what some of those are. To begin with, you have to get the appointment. It's not that difficult with CPA firms. I learned that very few bankers are calling on them today. Even their own bank doesn't spend much time in their office. So if you call the CPA, if you think about it, every CPA has clients that are customers of ours. At least one, perhaps many. So they have an interest in learning more about Wells Fargo Bank. In those states where we're new, all the more reason why they'd want to meet with us to find out what our attitude is about small business lending, what our policies are, what our turnaround time is, what our products look like. So getting the appointment is not difficult. When we make the appointment, we should tell the CPA that we will take no more than 30 minutes of his or her time, that we would like to meet with other partners of the firm, if that's possible, or other CPAs in the firm, and that we're not there to try to solicit their business or referrals, but simply to talk about Wells Fargo and some of the things that we have going on and some of our interest and our initiatives in small business. We should try to set the appointment up not tomorrow or the next day, but about 5 to 10 days out. It's easier to get on a CPA's calendar if you try to set the appointment for next week than it is if you try to set it for day after tomorrow. Once we have the CPA call set up, we should make sure we allow, and I know this sounds real simple, but enough drive time, know where the office is located, and we should never be late. I think it's important to show up 5 minutes early, but not more than that. Now, we're at the office. The CPA has come out to meet us. They take us back to the conference room or their office, and my first statement is, I want to thank you for taking time to visit with me today. I have a couple of friends, a couple of personal friends who are CPAs, and I understand billing hours or billable time. And I appreciate you taking some of your billable hours away from your accounting practice to meet with me. That generally will bring some sort of a smile on their face, or at least an acknowledgement from them that we recognize that their time is money, and we're not there just to waste their time. And the second thing, and this is very important, and I learned this after several calls, is I tell them that my purpose of the call today, the reason I'm here, is to change their perception about Wells Fargo Bank. Now, I don't know, Mr. CPA or Ms. CPA, if your perception is positive, negative, or indifferent, but whatever it is, when I walk out of here, I want to ask you the question if I've changed your perception. So my goal at the front end of the call is to state my purpose of the call and make sure that they understand that it's not to solicit their business, which many times the reason the bank is there is to try to get their business, and secondly, not to ask for referrals. By not stating that, it's very clear that my whole purpose is simply to change their perception. Not that it's negative, and we shouldn't go into the office with the idea and the attitude that they have a negative perception of Wells Fargo, even though they may have had a bad experience somewhere along the line. In California, for example, that's not unusual. We have a lot of small business customers. Somewhere along the line, one of those small business customers who banks with a CPA or is a client with a CPA may have had a bad experience. We're there to change that perception. We get that out on the table real quick. Now, there's basically 4 products that I try to make sure in the course of the discussion with the CPA that I want to talk to them about. Now these products were very self-serving to us.